Asia One Global Indian Awards, recognizing the remarkable contribution of persons of Indian origin all over the world. Asia One has been consistently recognizing and commemorating through its IPR, the Asia One Global Indian of the Year, the indispensable contribution of persons of Indian origin, people who are admired or are in the news because of their highly innovative ideas, excellent business, political or administrative acumen, or extraordinary contributions to the society. The award ceremony is held globally so that the feats serve as path to be followed by youth and admirers in India and outside. The leaders are chosen through online poll and a certain weightage on the peremptory advice of top 10 India's greatest leaders. The Global Indian leader is chosen from different fields like political, economy, business, technology, amongst others. The winner CEO of 2016-17, the Global Indian of the Year, is Tapan Singhel, MD and CEO, Bajaj Allianz General Insurance Company Limited. He was honoured in a glittering ceremony and handed over the trophy by Indian film star and legend Dharmendra.
Hello and welcome to this very special show where we talk to you about the Asia One Global Indian of the Year Awards. Awards that are constituted to recognize contribution and achievement of Indians around the world. I'm Gauri Dwivedi and we'll be in conversation with Tapan Singhel, who's got the Asia One Global Indian of the Year Award this year. MD and CEO of Bajaj Allianz Limited, a man who for the last 6 years has been spearheading Bajaj Allianz, and it has in fact touched greater heights under his leadership. Mr. Singhel, thanks so much for speaking to us. The first question I want to talk to you about is when you talk about this award, what does it mean to you as being, a recognition of your hard work, the kind of work that you've done, your leadership in the last few years?
Thank you, Gauri. I think I'll just rephrase it. It is not about me. It's about my people and my customers who repose faith in the institution that we have created. I think that is what it is. So it's a very humbling effect to receive any award, which reinforces our faith that our obsession with customers and our people is on the right track.
It's going the right way. And, if we were to talk about your career, what would stand out as a highlight as far as your career spanning 2.5 decades now?
Okay, so I think my life or my career is not one of those stereotypes that you see. I want to be a scientist to begin with.
Okay.
And when I entered college, I failed in most of the subjects in my first year and second year. And then moved on to be nearly a scientist and then moved to be an insurer.
Okay.
And that was a challenge where one of
That's a huge detour from science to financial services.
Yeah, I think this is just a challenge of one of my friends who had bought in a government insurance company examination form, and he said that it's an IQ test, not like mugging up and you become the first in the class. So I said, okay, if it's an IQ test, let's give it.
Yeah.
And that's how I entered into insurance. No? So if I look at my career or my studies or my life, I have enjoyed every moment of what it is, with no regrets, and each has been a great master and a great teacher. And that's how I joined Bajaj Allianz also.
And that's what life really is about, right?
Yes,
it's about learnings that you build over, and that's what leadership is all about, that you learn from what life really teaches you. What would be your, if I were to ask you about your success story, how would you define it? You said that, you accidentally got into this business, but if you were to talk about
I think it's the failure story that one should talk about, because that is where the definition or whatever you succeed in life, it starts from where you fail. You'll never see a success story which doesn't have huge failures in it. Yeah?
Of course.
So I think it's the failures in my life which made me realize that it is more essential to be a good human being, to be obsessed about what you do, and to be able to make a difference to people or the customer you want to do so. And that obsession actually took us wherever we are. I don't define success, because success, in a way, when you define it, you're trying to make an end goal.
Yes.
I think it's the journey, it's a continuum. So there's nothing which is successful or which is a failure.
Right.
I think by putting these two brackets, we're trying to highlight one and push the other down, which is not the case.
Of course, it's failures that really teach us.
Yeah, it is a continuum. So
Yes.
as you move and as you enjoy and as you can make difference to society, to people, to the people around you, I think you're going the right track. I think that is the way I would define it.
And you've been with Bajaj Allianz now for 6 years, and the company has seen a fair amount of growth under your leadership. How was your association? I can't call it tenure, because there is a certain amount of bonding that you had. You said it's about people, it's about your employees, it's about your team. How has the association been till now?
Yeah, so I've been one of the founding employees of the company. I've been the MD and CEO for the past 6 years of the company. So if you look at insurance as a business, it is a business in which you are there for people when things go wrong. It's a business in which you get paid to do good. So if you have high empathy, if you are a man or a woman of your words and you live by it, and for you promise means everything, then you're a good insurer. Okay. I think if you look at our brand, that's what we do. No, if we commit something, we are there, and we make a difference, and the way the entire country would move. I'll just give you one small incident which will make you understand. Very early when I started my job, I was more thinking about business, and then once I had to give a claim check to widow of truck drivers. So there was an accident, so there's nobody. I thought, okay, I'll just personally go and hand them over, and I went there. And when I saw the gratitude in the eye, I realized that it's not only business that I'm in. I have a much bigger social cause which I should solve, and I should be there. I think these are incidents which make you a very different person from where you start.
Which make you realize what your work's value can really be if you try and reach out to those goals. Specifically, if I were to ask in terms of your management mantra, you said that you're one of the founding employees of this company. You've risen with the company, so to say, and now you're leading the team. What would be your management mantra, or what is it that you would always try and tell your team again and again as a leadership principle?
One, be a good human being. Never deviate from the principle of being a good human being in whatever you do. The rest is incidental. Second, be obsessed about your people. If you can't care for your people and you can't make a difference to their life, then you can't make a difference to the customers. Can you see an unhappy person make somebody happy? Can you see an unsatisfied person give something or deliver some kind of services to a person which should make it? It cannot happen. The obsession has to be people first, and the people's obsession has to be customers. And you have to use the best technology available and the best solution finding mind available to come out with solutions and change the experience of customers even before they expect it to happen. To give a small example, people generally feel that as an insurance company, they don't pay claims, which is a wrong feeling. When you look at the industry, it's bleeding paying claims, yeah? But the perception is because the way the claims are settled.
But this is the overriding perception about the industry.
Yeah, that's interesting. Look at the industry, they'll make losses, yeah? Because they pay so much claims. But the customer feels so. The ironical fact is, the reason is it's historically, you have to go back 300, 400 years to understand that. Insurance is a business where you take money from many to pay to a few.
Of course.
When you pay to a few, you should eliminate all avenues of frauds before you pay.
Yes,
otherwise,
of course.
The process of elimination of fraud makes the customer feel that he is a fraudster.
He's being slighted, yeah.
And that is where this disconnect happens. When we did research, we found this out. So we said, can we pay claims on the spot? Within 20 minutes incident, any claim on the retail side.
Okay.
Can we also pay claims even when the customer thinks about it?
Okay.
Now using blockchain, if you're my travel customer and you're traveling and trip delay happens, which technically is a claim, even if you realize, we'll send you a message saying that your trip delay has happened, this is a claim, do you want it? You say yes, we transfer the money.
Yes.
If you're my automobile customer and you're driving on the road, right from a tire puncture, which is not an accident, we'll help you change tires. Second, if an accident happens, you just park the car, click photographs, upload. Within 20 minutes, you transfer money to your account, even if you go anywhere else.
Okay.
Now, if you actually
if you actually are so swift and in a consumer facing business like this, the retail part of it is actually ruthless, right?
Yes.
So if you are so swift in terms of your turnaround time, what stands out as the one feedback that you got from a customer that made all this worth it?
So if you look at our customers, they actually test the product when they're in difficult times.
Of course, that's what insurance is, yes.
So if you look at the emotional trauma and the change which happens when somebody is there to help you is huge. You just have to look at the rise. A testimony that can give you like a ramble it down. It has no relevance. Come with us when we settle a claim for a customer. Just look at the rise and you feel that God has been kind to you, that they made you an insurer, so that you could deliver to people in times of need.
In times of need, absolutely. And what would stand out in your head, in your memory, in the last 6 years of being in the leadership role as the one single most challenging time when either you could have probably reacted differently, in now that you have the benefit of hindsight, or you think, given the circumstances, this was the best reaction that we could have possibly?
I have two obsessions currently, and currently means a couple of years back. If I look at India's story, and I talk anywhere else in the world, they talk about the demographics. They say that India has demographic dividend, and that is what is going to take India to the next level. Now, it sounds very exciting, but imagine millions of youth, if they don't have employment, that will become like...
This demographic dividend is going to be a demographic disaster.
Disaster, yes. So now, if as a profession in India, if I can make a contribution to that, it's big. So one of my obsession is that can we provide jobs to 1 million Indian in the next 5 years? The second obsession I have is, if you look at a simple thing, somebody who has a health insurance and somebody who does not, you'll be surprised to know that the average life expectancy of a person who has health insurance is 10 to 15 years more than somebody who does not.
Okay.
It's simple thing, because when you have a good health cover, you go to the best hospitals, best doctors,
yeah.
no?
You
and
have
you don't
best
have
medical
it.
aid, yes.
Yeah, if you don't have, you try to avoid or cut corners till it's too late.
Yeah.
A simple thing like a good cover when a catastrophe happens, like Chennai floods. A poor person who has built his home of 30 years of hard labor, one night and it's all washed away. How does the person build it again? No? Can we make a difference to all that? And that's what we are doing. I think what we are doing using technology, reaching out to about 10,000 locations. We are also trying to see that we provide employment to 1 million people, and we're also trying to see how do we talk to the government to ensure that when catastrophe happens in states, that we can make good of people which is there. Now, these are defining moments. When we started this, people thought that it will not work, but today we're on the right track and it's working very well. And that is, to answer your question, how do we redefine how it has to happen?
Okay, so you've talked about challenges, you've talked about your leadership principle. I'm very intrigued to know about, you have quite a following on Twitter. I see a lot of following on LinkedIn as well. You also are an active blogger. What is it that you share, when you have time to reach out to all these, I believe, lakhs of followers on LinkedIn and Twitter?
Yeah, so you have to get to the fundamental how I started it, and that's also interesting. So about 6 to 7 years back, I was trying to reach to a telecom provider and the CEO.
Okay.
And I could not. And next day in this newspaper, I saw that he mentioned that he's a very customer-focused center. It's a very usually used sentence. And I was thinking that tomorrow if my customers reach me, can they reach me? No? Then I said, why not open a social media account? So I'm not on Facebook, so I opened LinkedIn and Twitter because they were professionals. And I put my mobile number and my email address on public domain. So any customer of mine, they want to reach me, they just search CEO Bajaj Allianz and they'll get my mobile number and they can send me a text.
So weren't you flooded with requests and, all sorts of complaints?
I'll come to that first, yeah. So after I answered the first question of yours. Then what I did was, now open account, I better to start doing something. So I started writing whatever came to my mind. And then a story about the pursuit of happiness or about depressions, about economic affairs, about insurance, whatever came to my mind, I started writing. And since it was genuine and the content was driven by me, I think people realized it. And social media, that's one good thing. And the following started. Also, for my entire company, it had a huge impact because people in the company knew if they don't respond to a customer, in the next 5 minutes, the moment he searches the web, he'll reach to the CEO.
He'll reach to the CEO, yeah.
So you'll be amazed
Look at the kind of pressure you must be putting your entire teams
not
into.
Pressure. That is our a reason for existence, to serve customers. No pressure. That we should love doing that. And that is why we look at Bajaj Allianz. We are the least grievance. And this is all regulatory website news. I'm not giving you something which I...
From the idea,
yeah. You look at that, we are the least grievances. We always win the most on the customer focus because we're obsessed towards the customer. Any feedback is good. I also saw an incident where a customer must have been very irritated and he went a bit overboard in writing to me. There are at least 30 more customers who jumped in and said, don't do this. Where do you get a CEO who responds to you on social media and tries to solve your question genuinely?
Oh, absolutely.
You have to respect that. Social media is an amazing place. I think
but social media is also a place where there are no barriers, so to say. So you will be getting complaints in the middle of the night. You'll probably be getting complaints when you're on vacation or you're busy on something else. So you have to respond.
Yeah, but that is what we do. So why should we not respond? Why should we not? Poor guy is irritated and he must be facing a lot of crisis. So where does he reach out? As a company, if you have failed, then it's my personal failure. That is when I started doing this, and the following which is there is incidental. I think I love it because now my interaction is, I'll give you one small example which you'll see, what one of the blogs I wrote. You ask anybody in this world, what do you want? They'll say happiness.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at the kids on the street or in the playground.
Right.
They're the happiest.
Right.
So when you're born with abundance happiness.
Oh, absolutely.
You destroy it systematically, and you want to be happy, yeah?
Yeah.
And that's what the blogs I wrote.
So that's the oxymoron that you're trying to sell and the
Yeah.
inherent irony that you're mentioning. You know, last couple of questions that I want to touch upon is that, first of all, I do want to have another follow-up on the social media that you said. It's very interactive, you're getting a lot of feedback. What about peers in the industry? Is this a subtle way of putting pressure on some of the other people as well? Because, you know, here is a company that is responding so actively, then others do need to have a better turnaround time.
The way I've led my life, because of all my failures, is I only focus on my obsessions and I don't worry about what.
But did any other peer CEO tell you that, you know, why are you doing this to us?
I think it just makes me blush. Most of my peers tell me that because of you, we have a very tough time.
Yeah, right. They're also having sleepless nights because of you.
But they are very good friends of mine. I said, no, I said, please don't say that. You should always say, because of you, we are redefining the landscape of the industry for the people. I think that is what I would like to hear. But I think because we've been in the industry for such a long time, all of them are very good friends of mine. So we do joke about it, and they say, no, right from board meetings to everywhere, you do give us a very, very tough time.
You know, one final question, sir, very quickly, running out of time, I want to ask you is that if there would be one decision that you would like to change, or one policy reform you would want insurance sector to see, it's come a long way, and the regulator is doing a very fine job.
Yes.
But if there's one policy reform that you would like to see, what would that be? Very quickly.
Yeah. So there are three things. First and foremost is with the government. We see a catastrophe in any place. The economic loss is about 7x the insured loss. And this is to the poor people. You have solutions where if you just increase 100 rupees to the house tax for a year, it can be done away with. We're writing to the government, talking to them.
Okay.
That would make a difference to the people of India at large.
Okay.
I'm very happy with the national health scheme which the government has announced, because that will increase the life expectancy of citizens of India to the next level. And in terms of products, I want the products which can be sold in SMS, that you understand.
All right.
Look at the products of insurance companies.
They have to be simplified. You have to simplify it.
Simplify to the level that SMS will understand. Because if I look at the attention span of consumers today, beyond 4 sentences, it doesn't exist.
Yeah, it doesn't.
So any product which has 2 pages of conditions
and T&Cs, it doesn't go.
So that has to be done, and that is what we're talking to regulators. We also look at Internet of Things, and they're very happy to look at what we are doing. This industry is positioned for the next level in terms of the
explosion that can
and
happen,
the excitement, and for the people, and makes a huge difference to citizens of India. And I'm so proud and happy to be an insurer. I think that sums it up.
All right, Mr. Singhel, we leave it there. Thanks so much for speaking to us. The fact that an insurance policy can come down to an SMS would really be revolutionary, and we'll wait for that to happen. That was Mr. Singhel. We're in conversation with a man who, of course, been awarded the Global Indian of the Year by Asia One, and his obsession with customer service is what is really driving him to perfection. We're slipping into a very, very short break. Stay with us. We come back with our discussion on what really is driving Asia One magazine as far as these awards are concerned. Stay tuned.